In this video, I want to show you what this is and how it works. It'll be a short one, so pay attention because we're going to go through this pretty fast.
Hi, I'm Bowtie Dave.
Hello, welcome to Bowtie Life. I'm Bowtie David. We live here in Destin, Florida, and I wanted to show you a unique tool that I use as a handyman. It's not really my own invention, but I got the idea from somewhere else, but I did build my own version of a water jet. Now this started back in Port Aransas, Texas when we lived there. There's a fellow there named Claude who would take a crane with water hoses hooked up to a fire hydrant, and he could take a massive post, 16 by 16 post, hang it by this crane and sink it into the sand and build a house on these posts. And he would sink these posts into sand sometimes in as little as 60 seconds. And it was really amazing. And I thought, you know, there's got to be some way I can do it. And if any of you out there who as a kid stuck the water hose down in the dirt and you push it, you keep pushing it down, it gets deeper and deeper, and you pushed it so deep that your dad had to cut it off at the ground because he couldn't get it out and put a new end on the hose, you know exactly what I mean here. So that's what we're getting to, is this with this water jet. And I wanted to show you what I've got and just kind of how it works. Now a water jet is good for, that's what I'm calling it. I don't know the technical term. I like the name water jet, but it's good for not only putting posts into the sand, it's also good for getting posts out of the sand. Now I'm saying sand. We are in Destin, Florida. We have very unique substrata in our ground. And it is this white sand that, now we're about 7 blocks from the beach. Here, it's a couple feet deep. You get further into the middle of the peninsula here that Destin sits on. I've seen it as shallow as about a foot deep, and then it gets to this orange sand underneath. But the closer you get to the beach, the deeper it is. And at the beach, I mean, it's 6 or more feet deep. And this white sand, now, sand on the beach, you say, oh, parrotfish. No, not our sand. Our sand is a little different. Over thousands of years, the sand has been washing out of the Appalachian Mountains, and we get these quartz crystals. It's a very unique quartz that we get. We call it sugar sand, and it's white. That's why our beaches are so white. I think they're the whitest beaches in, I know, North America, but maybe in all the Americas. I'm not sure about that. It's amazing stuff. It does not compact very easily. In fact, you know, they do sand sculptures down in Texas on those beaches because you get the sand sculptures and they're huge and everything else. This stuff you can't do that with so easily. It falls apart. You drive down the beach and a vehicle not properly equipped will get stuck, period. Now, I know you go to some beaches, Texas, I'll bring that up again because that's where we live. You go to some beaches and you can get stuck. Here, it's a fact. You will get stuck if you don't respect it properly, and it can be a real pain in the neck. So, to put a post in, now I can use a post hole digger and I can make it work, but personally I like to sink posts about 48 inches deep. Post hole digger gets a little challenging. You can do it, but there is a much easier way, and that is with a water jet. Now, looking at the end, you can see there's 2 holes kind of at the side here, and that's the water jet part. And what that does is I will stick this thing down in the sand right next to the post. And you'll notice the holes are actually adjacent to the printed side of the post, so I always know which way the holes are going. And this is a little bit of a flexible pipe, which you can see, and that allows you to actually turn it and direct the digging power of the water jet underneath the post that you're trying to sit. Now, this will work with a 4x4 post. It's a little challenging with a 4x6 post. If you're going with a 6x6 post, you need a little bit more power than this is going to give you. At least that's what I found. I have sunk a 4x6 post, but not 48 inches. It doesn't quite work as well, but it does work. It's doable, but it's kind of a pain. You might as well just dig the post hole digger. Anyway, so This I built at my local Ace Hardware, with supplies from my local Ace Hardware. This is just electrical conduit, which that gray stuff is UV protected, which means it'll last a little longer. Just a standard PVC cap on the end with 2 holes drilled in the end of it. And on the other end, now this is an area that I'm actually going to improve, and you can see that the hose is on right now. The leaking is actually my end here. I got another problem here. I think I probably just need, I don't know why I'm leaking here. Why am I leaking? Oh, there we go. No problem. There we go. Anyway, I put a Y on it to give it a little bit of a curve over. One thing I have discovered, I do like to have one of those collapsible hoses here because it's a lot lighter to lift up and work around. I will also hold this hose with a loop in it so that it doesn't kink up here at the top. And so anyway, you'll notice I have a little valve here, and I will actually turn on, and let me do this back here. I will turn on, and it creates the water jet. Now the water jet right now is pointing down. If I turn this, you can see now the water jet is pointed up. Now you'll see some extra little streams of water coming out of there. Let me show you what those are. This came along with experience. As you're going along, digging a post in, you get this cap down at the bottom of the post, and it will get caught at the end. And now remember, the sand is collapsing around this as you're going down. You're just barely keeping the sand off of locking in, and that's what our sand does. You get underneath there, and it locks in like cement. In fact, you can go online. I'll see if I can find the map, the video that this company that sinks posts underwater with a water jet, and how scientifically the posts are so much better set. It's mind-blowing. I'll see if I can get that linked into the index below. But so anyway, what happens is, because this cap is a little bit larger than the pole, when you got that 4x4 right up against it, it gets caught, and it gets hard to pull it out. Yeah, I've been there, okay? Just me from experience. You get this thing 4 feet down on the ground, and the water is at the wrong angle. It is pretty nigh impossible to get out. So what I did is I actually drilled 3 little holes, one on each of 3 sides, directly facing opposite, and they're just small holes. You can see they're just a little tiny hole compared to the water jets. These are little tiny ones. And so because the jets are here, I actually put one right underneath these jets, because that's normally where my post is sitting. And then I put a couple back here, just depending on what angle. But this one here is definitely required. Sometimes I don't have the water jet turned right, and it's just good to have that a little bit of extra force around to get it up. Occasionally it'll push past a root, and it helps pull back past a root that might be in the ground as well. So anyway, those extra little tiny holes right there, you can barely see them. I'll see if I can get a close-up video right here that you can see where all the holes are. But the sizes, you'll see these holes are not very big. I could go a little bit bigger. I could also get them closer to the edge over here. For what I use, it doesn't seem to be make much difference. I actually have, my last one actually had a single much larger hole, but off center makes it go kind of at an angle. And this angle, for me, for what I do, is kind of perfect. So anyway, let me just show you real quick how it works and it in action here. I've got a video here that I actually am pulling out a post. Now this is a post, it's a rotten post, really bad condition. It's rotten. And I'm going to go ahead and move my recording of this audio part indoors because the trash truck is coming and it's going to drown us out. So let's get indoors. So you can see me moving the valve, and I discovered if I turn the valve off and turn it back on, it builds up the pressure. That hose, that collapsible hose, actually acts like a pressure tank. So it gives me a little extra pressure when I'm pushing past some of that topsoil layer. Now the blue tapes on the blue tape are at 2-foot intervals, so it kind of gives me a reference point of how deep I am. These posts are about 2 feet in the ground, so I know once that first blue tape is disappeared, I know I'm at the bottom of the post. So I'm working my way around, and I'll come around on the other side, on the next edge, and I think on these posts, I was doing 3 injections into the sand. And these injections, now let me tell you something. It does not disturb much of the sand at all. In fact, one of the first posts I sunk in, there was one of those little security signs right next to it in the sand, about 2 inches away from it. And it was just one of those metal signs stuck in the ground that stands up about a foot tall. And I didn't even disturb that sign. I never even moved that little sign. That's how accurate this water jet is. And so I'm, you can see I'm going in and getting past some tough stuff, and it'll go a little bit and then it gets stuck on, you know, there might be debris in there from when they sunk these. Most of these posts that I removed did not have any cement on them. I think 3 of them did. But here I am on the third side. Now this is the magic thing. And the amazing thing is, this whole process, I pulled this thing out of the ground in just a tad over 2 minutes. You can run a timer. There's no high speed or anything on this. This is just real time. I want you to see what this looked like in real time, because it's just amazing. And then sinking the post, it takes 2 or 3 minutes. I can generally sink a 4x4 post 4 feet in the ground, which is amazing considering how long it takes to do the post hole to get a post in the ground. But yeah, here we go. It just lifts right out. Boom. And that's how the water. Now this is, again, this is our special sand. This is specifically because of our special sand. And that's about it. Hey, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to Bowtie Life on YouTube. Y'all have a blessed day.